Well, today was a little throwback to classic EA. It was a mistake-filled day today. A couple different ones, actually. One of them possibly being a pack weight issue again that we'll get into, that it's not confirmed for sure, but it's pretty highly suspicious in terms of pack weight being kind of messed up on this certain pack that we will get into. We have got the new best of batch that I didn't even think was coming out, by the way. It is coming out this Friday, and it's going to be a best of that is like one of the biggest we've ever seen. I think it's got like 170 cards in it or something crazy like that, so that's coming up here just today. We'll go and look at it. We've got an interesting insight from a former EA employee about FC26, so we'll go and check that out as well. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. And there are some more SBCs we have not seen yet for Team 2. They're not maybe the most insane SBCs, but there are more we haven't seen yet. Thank you all for being here. I forgot to mention as well, I wasn't able to make a comments video this last week, but I'm gonna have plenty of time this weekend, so whatever comment you left in that last video, just say it again on this one if you want to, and also if you leave a comment on today's video, I'm gonna read it on the second channel. Okay, let's get into everything here. So the first mistake, and you guys probably saw this already, I'm sure, but the weekly play objective came out today, and it's not supposed to, so you could finish the weekly play objective, then you have the Futties Team 2 pack if you completed the objective, which obviously Futties Team 2 is not out yet. So EA made that first mistake here. You then could not obviously open this pack, like it didn't let you. There's clips of people trying to open it and you literally can't open it. So they finally fixed that issue. That was like hours later. I want to say it was 3 or 4 hours later they fixed that issue. And then the second issue happens that we'll talk about here in one sec. But first of all, the XP, there's something weird with XP right now. They are really trying to limit it and it's pretty crazy. So obviously you guys can see it's half of what it was last week, right? It was 500, 500, and 1,000. Now it's 250, 250, and 500. And what's funny with that is that they actually announced, I think on last Friday, right? They said like there'll be some times during this season that there will be double XP. It'd be pretty funny if they did it here, you know, and they made it 250, 250, and 500. And it's like, okay, double XP is just exactly what it was last weekend. Not really sure, but I'm sure you guys saw, you know, they nerfed hardcore the manager objectives, the player objectives, right? They nerfed these pretty hard in terms of the XP, and I can't see, I guess. Okay, I was gonna just show you quick, but I can't see it. And now I can't press R1 or L1, so thank you, servers. All right. Oh, no, we're good. I think we're back. Okay, wait. You know what? I know now why the servers were weird. So if you guys don't know, if you have EA Play Pro, it also gives you the pre-order rewards. So I have EA Play Pro, which life hack, if you want the game on release and you pay like, I think it's what, 15 or 20 bucks, I want to say. You buy EA Play Pro, and if you don't want it after that first month, if you don't like it, you don't have to play it. That goes with any EA game. Same with like Game Pass, right? Those are always like the best deals to me. So I wonder what this Evo actually looks like here. We'll check that out in one sec. Let's do this icon pick that I'm sure sucks massive penis, but let's just see what we get in it. Imagine it's rigged and it's just like 5 amazing icons, right? Okay, yeah. Pre-order bonus. If somebody might have spent literally what, $100 on this pre-order bonus for an Angerer. We'll see what this Evo looks like, but that doesn't look great. But I'm very curious to see what this Evo looks like. Okay, so there's no requirements. Wow, there's literally 0 requirements there. So anybody you want, you can give 99 shooting to. So I have this Cruyff here, but he's tradable. I'm not gonna probably put it on this Cruyff, but you could theoretically put it on this Cruyff card, which is kind of insane. But okay, so that one's actually pretty damn good. But I guess what the other thing too is you can't combine the other ones then if you do it on a 97 or above card, right? So he has to be 96 or lower to make them able to be put into these, right? Like these 2 Evos here, or these 3 Evos, I should say. So you can choose between like, do you want these upgrades in your card? Then pick a 96 or lower. Otherwise, you can pick any of these guys. But of course, I always recommend it to not pre-order the game, okay? Obviously, do what you want with your money, but at the end of the day, if you don't have EA Play Pro, I would not be pre-ordering the game, okay? I really would not be. I know it's tempting. Even if you know you're going to get the game on day 1, the more pre-orders, the more EA can sit back and go, hey, we can relax a little bit. And that goes with literally any game that you pre-order from any company, right? So just keep that in mind here. But if you think what we've seen so far, a pre-order is warranted, then, you know, be my guest. But okay, so the second mistake that was actually made today was that it seems like when they actually sent out these Team 2 packs, or not sent them out, I should say, they just let you open them, right? You couldn't before. It seems like there was a disproportionate amount of Salibas. There was a ton of Salibas out here. If you look at the replies on Unique Riggers' tweet here, there's was a lot of Salibas. And of course, you might say, well, okay, well, everyone who got Saliba is going to send Saliba then in this tweet. But in the initial, I think it was Futties Sheriff tweeted it out that they came out. There was a lot of Salibas under that tweet too. So it did seem kind of disproportionate here. So this card right here, you might see quite a bit now. Not sure how true that is. It's all going off of just circumstantial, anecdotal evidence, whatever the hell you want to say, basically. But yeah, it seems like maybe that was a mistake here. And because of that mistake, right, there's now Team 2 cards and concepts because the Team 2 now can be packed. So now if you want to see all the Team 2 cards, you can go into concepts and you can see all the in-game stats and everything like that. You just can't get them until obviously today at content time. But go check those out if you want to take a look at those. And then here we might have the biggest graphic of the year right here. So there are 200 cards in this graphic. They have all the Futties cards in here. I think this best of is 175 players. I think it's 175, I want to say. And here are all of them. So if you want to take a look at all of them, you can. What is really nice about this is some of these really rare cards that have been in many Evos are now going to be back in packs. So for example, this Ronaldinho, right? Dino's going to be back in packs. That's nice to see because he's very, very expensive. He'll still be expensive because of Evos, but he's not going to be nearly as rare, which will bring the price down a little bit on a card like Dino or Team of the Year Thierry Henry, right? Trying to find other cards in here that have kind of been just like extinct for a long, long time because of evolutions. Can't find one just scanning through here. This Winter Wildcard Neymar, right? That card's been extinct for a long, long time. But that's one of the nice things about Evos now, too, is that these cards can actually kind of mean something throughout the whole year. And that's one of the benefits of the evolution system. Of course, the Evo system has plenty of its problems, but it has probably been the saving grace of this game, to be honest with you, at least just in my opinion. Yeah, an absolutely insane number of cards, in case you guys can't tell. And if you want to see these Futties, you can just go check concepts right now. Now, looking at the fodder, though, right? Take a look at like what cards ratings are at the bottom here. You have some 88s. You've got quite a few 89s in here, quite a few 90s. It's pretty even throughout, and it starts at 88. So with fodder stuff, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But looking at these, if I had to guess, I bet there won't be 88 or above gold cards that are 10K. Or sorry, that are less than 10K. I think they're all going to be at that 10K mark because they're all going to be out of packs. Because right here, I see like 5, right? You got Wrighton, you got Donnarumma, Courtois, Sophia Wilson, Valverde. Like the list goes on and on. Mo Salah. Of all the gold cards are not going to be in packs, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? So that could be a pretty big money investment, actually. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to say, I think, about this. And I think, honestly, next year we should see a lot of this stuff sooner. I think there's no reason to hold off or gatekeep some of these cards, like Future Stars cards down here, or I don't know, is this Centurions? Like some of these promos, there's no reason to wait until the middle of July to bring these cards back to me. You might as well have a pretty much concurrent certain amount of like older promo cards that are always in packs. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. But okay, so a couple SBCs here. The first one is Roy Keane, he's pretty good, but not amazing. Bruiser Incisive Pinged, awesome. He's pretty awesome stats are, but Slide Tackle Plus is 4th playstyle plus, meh. If you're Irish, though, you're probably very happy to see this. So we'll actually just change courses here real quick. I forgot to mention there's a 95 rated Evo on the way as well. So let's talk about that here right now, actually, first. So Max 95 Evo, Anticipate Plus, Bruiser Plus, Rapid Plus, Technical Plus. Interesting kind of combo of playstyle pluses there. Apparently, the stat boost is more oriented to CDMs. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Rapid as a CDM is like terrible because the touches they'll take if you want to have him sprint into space is gonna be really, really bad. Now, the thing is, though, is if it's the last playstyle plus, almost nobody would end up using a card in this that would have like 1 playstyle plus or 0, right? So you wouldn't even really use Rapid. But these two are very nice. Just Technical and Rapid for a CDM, not that great to me. But apparently it's a pretty big stat boost here. This 4 playstyle plus for Mean fits in, 95 rated. I'm assuming it really is like any position to give yourself some stat boost in here. 99 dribbling players are gonna fit in there. And he also says he cannot confirm the order on the playstyle pluses. Oh yeah, and lastly here, this Hullet does fit apparently as well. So yeah, okay, we'll wait and see. It might be a crazy Evo, but it seems like there's a little questionable things with it, at least prior to its release here. It probably is going to come this weekend, he says. Let's go back to some new players here. We've got a Miroslav Klose SPC, and of course, because it's Miroslav Klose, I got to give him 1 not so great playstyle plus. I mean, some people like power shots, so maybe that's me being a little bit harsh here, but aerial, finesse, rapid, and some nice stats in there, but unfortunately does have power shot as the 4th playstyle plus. But I actually think Klose is good in FIFA when he has good cards. I've actually liked his body. Really, really nice body in game. And that leaves us with these guys as SBCs. So you got Yapstam, Davies, Neto, Declan Rice, Dalglish, Cannavaro, and Miroslav Klose. And then we saw Roy Keane as well. These are official stats on these guys as well, by the way. So it seems like it'll be a pretty good week of SBCs, I would say, which at this point is like an elite week of SBCs because it's just been so rough for the last about 3-4 months. And okay, so here is this Chew Boy tweet talking about this new FC26 trailer that we saw yesterday. Everyone's seen by now, right? But he has a couple interesting insights as to what maybe went into this whole like process of this like pretty, at least somewhat quote unquote self-awareness that EA has shown in this trailer and over the last few days here. So Chew Boy says, as some of you know, I was a part of the trailer making process at EA from FIFA 13 to 16, but I've never seen EA be this publicly self-critical. I was not even allowed to be self-critical writing patch notes back then. He says, bold from the devs, but I'm more surprised that the EA execs okayed this approach. I've seen EA execs make a scrap of FIFA trailer 3 days before E3 because it was not feature heavy enough. I'll let you guess which year that is. I honestly have no idea. He says, so this means execs are betting their stocks, shares, and future on fixing the game, quote unquote, and less new features. So internally, the devs legit have to deliver or else. So the thing with this though is that obviously Chew Boy worked there a decade ago, right? Or what is it, I think it was like FIFA 17, I want to say. So 8 years ago. I would be very surprised if a lot of the same people were still there. I would guess not. So I guess it kind of comes down to this for me. If I had to guess, this is just, to me, a very good strategy. Like, it is undoubtedly a good strategy from EA to be self-aware. Like, they know the fans aren't happy. It's a good strategy for them to say, hey, we know you're not happy. We're going to try and make it better. Regardless if the game actually is better or not, it's a good strategy from them. And there is a non-zero chance that that is all this is it's just a strategy and nothing will really change too much. Now, the thing with that though, if you're going to go all out and say, yes, the gameplay is going to be better this year. We know we need to fix this and fix that. We saw this direct correlation with them making the gameplay better to them making more money. I even underestimated how much people did not want to play the game strictly because the gameplay was that bad. I thought most people, like casuals, even thought, okay, the gameplay's okay enough to like be played, but no, it literally wasn't. Like they gained a ridiculous number of players when they did the update. So the reason I actually believe EA when they're saying here, like, we're gonna try and make the game better, is not because I think they just want to make the game better. It's because I think they actually think now that it genuinely drives them more revenue. If they were just saying this as like a marketing strategy and we didn't already have this like pretext of what we knew from the last like 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it's been, or it was actually 6 months ago. If we didn't have all this, I just say, okay, it's a cool strategy, but there's like, I highly doubt anything will actually change here. But I feel like things almost will change, at least to a certain degree. They'll attempt to change things. Because I think they now genuinely think that gameplay improvements is a way for them to actually make more money, and they didn't really think that until maybe like the last year or so. So I more so do think they're going to attempt to do this, whether it's good or not, don't know. I do think they will attempt to try and make it better, not because they just said, oh yeah, we want the game to just be better for you guys. Like, we know we've been slacking on gameplay. We just want it to be better because you deserve a better game. Like, that's not why they're doing this. They're doing this because they literally think, okay, better gameplay, I guess, equals more money. I guess we should probably lead into that more. But I don't really agree with some of this stuff, but I think this right here is right. Like, this means the execs are betting their stocks, shares, and future on fixing the game. Like, they are doing that. They are betting on that. So whether the game will actually get better is the question. There's going to be changes in this game, though. Like, there's no doubt. Now, of course, you know, we're talking changes in the context of a year-to-year FIFA cycle, and all things considered, the changes are probably not going to be that big, right? They're going to be there, but not maybe huge, because how much can you do in a year? Because, you know, we're on this stupid fucking yearly cycle. But EA are definitely going to attempt to deliver on this promise. I don't know if they'll be able to, because their dev team seems, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem too great right now, but I do think it's going to be interesting, right? It's definitely going to be an interesting thing to see what they do here. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more companies do this publicly self-critical thing, because it's a very easy way to be like, hey, they're going to change, right? It's very easy to do that. So this only became the game plan when they knew it could make them more money, right? It wasn't just because they knew they messed up. Like, it wasn't because of that. So that, I think, is an important piece of this. But okay, let's talk about fodder here. So right now, they're already, I'm guessing, in trading discords and shit, they're telling people to right now go and buy 88s and 89s that are less than 10k to go and buy them. I think they're going to be 10k, every single one of them. I think any card right now is less than 10k. I think it's going to be 10k, unless there's some ridiculous tradable store pack, which I would doubt at the moment that people are opening those. Yeah, it's crazy. 85s are discard right now. You know, just crazy how times have changed. I wonder if the 85 exchanges right now are like crazy. I wonder if they're really, really good or if they're not so good. But yeah, apart from that, I don't really got a whole lot to say about this. Sell any card, by the way. Actually, I do have one thing to say. Sell literally any card that will be in this best of batch. I don't care. They're selling into the panic. You already probably lost a few 100k on some cards. I don't care. Sell them now. You will regret it big time if you do not sell before. Okay, let's read some of your comments now. We got Faded Philo Kylo, I want to say. What happened to the super sub extra chem EA was saying we were going to get? I'm not sure they said anything about it since, and they have not. I'm assuming it'll be in next year's game. That was one of those things that they just didn't add. I don't know what happened there, but they were literally supposed to be like their own card types, and we just didn't see them. So I'm assuming it's going to be a thing in next year's game. And also, there's been the theory, right, about, you know, like Devin Pack says here, this is like the GTA 6 game, so, or the year that GTA 6 will be coming out, and that might be why they're kind of trying to do this whole marketing gimmick right now, trying to like get us back a little bit. You said here Rockstar loves October release dates. The thing is, though, I mean, that could still happen, and that would be kind of hilarious because every single game developer has been just, you know, just waiting so patiently to know when not to release a game for like 3 months, right? Because the next 3 months when GTA 6 comes out is going to be, no one's going to make any money, right? It's going to be Rockstar making billions, everybody else is making jack shit. So everybody's trying to wait for that, and right now, GTA 6 release date, I believe, is in the spring or summer of 26, right? When's that time? Yeah, May 26, 2026, right now. That's when they said. That's been delayed once. It could be delayed again, right? But if this actually comes out at this time, this will be the game that is out when GTA 6 comes out. So that definitely, to me, plays a part in this, 100%, because every developer's thought for the last about couple years it would be during this year, right? They thought it would be in, I think it was October, right? I think it was going to be October. Ended up now being in May, but October obviously would have been at the start of this year's game. So I think there's no way it didn't play some sort of impact in that. And I think the unfortunate truth combining these things when you put it all together is that if I had to guess, this year's game, there'll actually be a lot of work put into this game, and next year's game, we're going to have probably, no bullshit, 25% of the work put in. Maybe that's not the case, because by September or October, GTA 6 might still be literally at just the peak. You know, that game's one of the few games that could have a peak that literally lasts like a year long or 2 years long. GTA 5's peak was kind of in a weird spot. That game lasted for 10 years. The game will always be popular, GTA games will be, but in its literal peak of peak player count, it might still even be going on in September. So maybe they will kind of care about that for FC27 as well, but that's kind of like what I feel like might happen for the next year's game, honestly. And also, can we say that TRP says here, Inception talked about this for years, right? The shit is in offline as well as online. Can we have a moment of silence for all creators, all fans, anybody in the community that was just high on their own supply and was like, you guys are full of shit. It's not an offline, and you just don't have wired connection. You don't have a 120 hertz monitor. You don't have this. You don't have that. Yeah, go shove one up your anus. How about that? Because we were all right, and I have no sympathy if you weren't, because it was very obvious, right? It wasn't like it was a revolutionary fucking thing. We all felt it. You play thousands of games of this game over the last 10 years, you can get a good understanding of it. And believe it or not, we did, and we knew it. But hey, thank you all for joining and being here today. Appreciate you all so much. I love you all. So, peace.